How did great figures such as Emperor Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, how did they become the people that they were? Well, they followed rules. They followed Stoic rules. And in this video, I'll show you what rules they followed and how to incorporate it into their life, just as they did. Because, as I always say, Stoicism is a practical philosophy. It's not just something to hear, write down and learn. It's something to put into your life. So, I hope these rules help you become a person like Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Rule number 1 of the Stoics, sympatheia. Sympatheia is the Stoic concept that all things are mutually woven together and therefore have an affinity for each other. The idea is that we as humans are part of this cosmic nature, and everyone's nature within this universe is tied together. The way I see it is we are part of a community, and to do good for the community is to do good for yourself, and to do good for yourself is to do good for the community. So this seems like an odd rule to start on as a way to strengthen your character and to become unbreakable. How does understanding this help? Well, when you understand that we are all tied together, our natures are tied together, and it helps us be more empathetic, it helps us be a better role model. And the idea is that we no longer feel like a victim to the world, we no longer feel like people are our enemies and that people are against us and that the world is against us. We understand that we have an important role in this community. We have an integral part of the universe. We can be a role model. We can understand that there are people out there that need our help. There are family members that need our help, our guidance, and our leadership. So when you understand that all of our lives are woven together in this way, it helps us to be a better role model. It helps us to be a better person. And when you look at life from this perspective rather than being the victim, it helps you to be calmer. It helps you to relax in tense situations because you're now looking at it from a different point of view. You're no longer looking at life as something that happens to you. It is something that happens for you, and you can use this for your benefit. You can use this for the benefit of others. You're now an integral role in this community, this cosmic community that we're all a part of. So this empathy, this understanding of sympatheia helps us to be a better person, helps us to be a calmer, more unbreakable person, because we see life as we're above the goings on and the events and the activities. We're observing it and trying to do what is best. The universe made rational creatures for the sake of each other, with an eye toward mutual benefit based on true value and never for harm. So you live life in accordance to the virtues, in accordance with nature, and your aim is to be a good member of the community. So to do good for the community, do good for others, and do good for yourself. But to do good for yourself is not selfish, because a selfish act is not good for the community. So it is acts in which you do good for yourself that also benefit the world around you. Rule number 2, Amorphate. Amorphate is a Latin word that means the love of one's fate, or to love your fate. The understanding is that life happens as it does and there is nothing to stop that. So all you can do is say, Amorphate. Love the fate that life has given you. Because to do the opposite, to fight this and complain about the life that you've been given, the circumstances that you've been given, it's to act foolish, it's to act childish, because you was never going to be able to stop this. You can never change the past, so all you can do is make the best of it. It is like the Stoic concept of the flame that uses challenges as fuel. So you throw wood onto the fire, the flames grow higher, and life gives you challenges, you grow from these challenges. Everything is an opportunity to grow. Challenges can be good. You know, if you're stuck in traffic for a long time, you can complain, you can get annoyed, you can let it ruin your day and be irritated and let it ruin your character. Or you can say, Amorphate, love the fate that life has given you. See this time stuck in traffic as a gift from life, saying, here, I know your life is hectic. I know you're so busy with everything going on. Here's some time for reflection, some time for peace. And people might say that's silly, but what else is there to do other than make the best of it? You see, Stoicism was started because Zeno's ship was shipwrecked. He lost everything, all his life's work, his money, his wealth, his fortune. He lost it all. He was shipwrecked, lost everything. And yet he turned this into the building blocks of Stoicism. This great philosophy that we have thousands of years later was built off of disaster and ruin. So, Zeno, before Stoicism was even a thing, among his shipwreck, said, Amorphate. He loved the fate, he made the best of it. He went to that bookstore, read Xenophon's Memorabilia of Socrates, learned about Socrates and these great figures, and says, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be a man like Socrates. And then he became a man like Socrates. He became Zeno of Citium. He created what we now know as Stoicism. So we say, Amorphate, love your fate. Good or bad, it's going to happen anyway, so make the most of it. So rule number 3, Memento Mori. This is another Latin word that translates roughly to remember death, or remember that you are mortal. The understanding is that people hide from death, people run from death and act like it will never happen. But the truth is, death happens to us all. No matter if you're a king or a slave, death has happened. Throughout history, all these great noble kings full of fame, wealth, fortune, wisdom, knowledge, no matter how smart you are, or rich you are, how great you are, or bad you are, you reach the same end. We all face death. So how can this help you live a good life? How can this help you be unbreakable? Well, first, the fear of death holds people back from truly ever living. This fear of death causes anxieties. It stops people from taking risk. It stops people from living the life that they can live because they're afraid of this death. It keeps people up at night because they're afraid of this death. So when you let go of the fear of death, when you understand that we all die, it's a part of nature, just as the leaves fall from the trees, and the trees in the new season are reborn, we die and we give way to new life. What do we leave behind? We leave behind the fertile ground. Just as the leaves leave behind the fertile ground, we leave behind our knowledge and our wisdom and our lessons that we gave to people, the things that we taught to others, the good that we left behind for this community that we're a part of. That's what we leave behind. So, Memento Mori, remember that you are mortal. In every instance, if you remember that this could be your last, it helps you focus on the very moment. It helps you be present. It helps you not to worry about problems outside of this. It helps you realize, as Steve Jobs once said, that in the face of fear, nearly all your problems fall away. You realize you don't need to worry about what such and such said or what happened last week or what might happen, because life is precious. Life is the most important thing. So remember that, Memento Mori. One way in which I remember that I am mortal is using this life calendar. I'm actually tomorrow going to fill in the last box of number 26. So I'll be turning 27. Every time I fill in a box, it reminds me that my time is finite. It reminds me that time is precious. It makes me have an urgency and a zest for life like no other. And when I look at all those boxes filled out, I realize that that's me. All those boxes are me. They're my memories, my mistakes, my victories, my failures. And when you look at this, and you look at the past weeks gone, the past years gone, and you look at the time you have maybe wasted or fulfilled, things you've done wrong, things you've done right, it helps you assess and analyze this. It helps you look at it, observe it, and go, here, this is where I can improve as a person. So Memento Mori. Remember that you are immortal. This will help you become unshakable and unbreakable like no other. Understanding and letting go of one of the biggest fears that people have, the fear of death, helps other fears just fall away. Once you can let go of this and see it as a part of life, a natural part of life, it's the order of the universe. Once you see this, you will start to let other fears go away. You'll start to be present and grateful for the life that you have right now. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. That is from the Moral Letters of Seneca. I just want to take a pause in the video to say huge thanks to the YouTube members that are making this channel possible and supporting what I'm doing. And a big thanks to Kyle Smith and Anastasia Zubiak. One of the membership perks that I'm working on is custom videos. A video on a certain topic where I go in depth on maybe an emotion or a problem that you're facing in your life, a challenge that you want to learn more about. And I'll just talk about this for a long time in depth and give my best advice, hoping that it helps with this specific topic. Yes, these videos won't be as enjoyable, fast-paced that we're used to on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. It'll be very slow-paced, very in-depth, that some may consider boring, but for the people that want to learn more, want to go in depth and have that thirst for knowledge and growth, then these videos are for you. So that is a membership perk that there is access to, and it supports what I'm doing, so thank you very much. Rule number 4 from the Stoics to help you create an unbreakable mind is you will face bad people and you will face bad times. How does this help you? How does the understanding that life isn't so fair, life isn't so good, and there's rude people, ignorant people, how does this help you in life? Well, Epictetus actually had an exercise for this that has helped him, and it's helped me massively. Whenever you are about to start on some activity, remind yourself what the activity is like. If you go out to bathe, picture what happens at a bathhouse. The people who splash you, or jostle you, or talk rudely, or steal things. In this way, you'll be more prepared to start the activity by telling yourself at the outset, I want to bathe, and I also want to keep my will in harmony with nature. Make this your practice in every activity. You see, from my understanding of life is that every day I will encounter rude people, ignorant people, I will encounter hardship and difficult times. So is it not foolish or childish for me to expect any different? Isn't it foolish for me to be irritated and annoyed when I encounter these things? You know, I've lived for thousands of days, countless encounters with these types of people, thousands of encounters with these difficult situations, irritating situations and hardship that we all face. Everyone is exposed to these things. Isn't it foolish for me not to expect these? Have I not learned that these things happen every day? Well, what do? This exercise will make you unshakable, it will make you unbreakable, it will make you so calm and take the best from life. The understanding is, if you go about your day, expect that you'll see a rude person on the bus or the train, or people might bump into you, people might say silly things, bad things happen, you'll get bad news. You expect these things, but what's the point of all this? When you expect them and say, my only goal is to keep my character, is to keep me in accordance with nature, is to learn and grow from these things, then you see these rude people as a test from life. You say to life, I want to be more empathetic, I want to be patient, I want to be a stronger, less irritable person. And life saying, well, here's some annoying people, see what you can do with this. They annoy you, and if you can keep your character strong, you can keep yourself in accordance with your nature and your will, then you're winning at life. These challenges actually help you become a better person. Is that not great that no matter what in life, it's always a win? You see something as a good thing, good, you enjoyed it, maybe you learned something from it. You see something as a bad thing, typically bad, then it's a challenge from life saying, hey, grow from this, and you grow as a character, and you become an all-around better person for yourself and the world around you. I remember myself, I was at the Shaolin Temple Europe talking to Master Xu Hengye, and he said to me, if you look at the person closest to you, maybe your spouse, your best friend, your parents, your siblings, you look at these people, how often do they surprise you and not meet your expectations? And I said, quite often. And he said, well, you look at people a bit further out, maybe friends, distant family, work colleagues, and he says, how often do these people surprise you? And I said, well, quite often, a lot. They don't meet expectations a lot. And then he says, now you go out into public, meet complete strangers. How do you expect any of these people to meet your expectations? And I thought, yeah, that's a great point. And the understanding is, why do we hold expectations for people? Why do we hold these levels that we hold people to, these standards that we know people will destroy, people will break down? So we let go of these expectations. We just appreciate the things we have. We're grateful for the things we have. And we know that bad things can happen and we can learn from them. We can grow from them. And if we have the opportunity or the chance or the knowledge to do have, we can teach people the right way. We can show them and guide them. We can be the good role model for them. So rule number 5, focus on what you can control. As Epictetus said, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. The idea is to understand how little control we have over the external world. And it sounds like an oxymoron. It sounds counterintuitive that understanding how little control you have will make you such a strong character, will help you control your life to the fullest. But it's quite simple. Epictetus taught of the dichotomy of control, that some things are within your power and some things are not. So within your power are your motivation, your aversion, your desire, your opinion, and in a word, whatever is of your own doing. Not within your power is your reputation, your office, your health, your wealth, and in the word, whatever is not of your own doing. So Epictetus says, when you focus fully on this small pocket that you do control, the things within you that you do control, it gives you full control, full attention. You're no longer caring about all these things outside of your control. They no longer drag your attention, your energy. You can focus fully on things of importance. So it gives you strength. It gives you calmness to understand that these things outside of your control, there's no point fretting over them and worrying over them. Just focus on what you can. As the Serenity Prayer says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. That's very based off of Stoic principles. And when you understand that you should only focus on the things that you can control, then you no longer keep focusing and giving energy to these things outside of your control that take so much energy. And this Stoic rule, understanding the dichotomy of control, has helped my life. It's helped me become a calmer person. It's helped me become a stronger person, because I understand that bad things happen in life and I can't change it. Then focus on what I can do, my opinion about this, my motivations, the things that come from this. I see a bad thing happen. I can now go, well, I can't change that bad thing, but maybe I can prepare myself for the future to be a better person. Rule number 6, be present. This is a rule not only taught by the Stoics, but in Buddhism, Taoism, in Zen, pretty much in every belief system, every philosophy, everyone that teaches of how to improve your life has spoke and taught about being present. Why? It's the only thing that exists. The past does not exist and the future does not exist. And understanding this can help build your strength of character. It can help you become unshakable because you're no longer living in the past. What does living in the past do? It causes feelings of regret, sadness, depression. It creates this inner turmoil of regrets, of things you've missed out on, things you've done wrong, when you can't change that. All you can change is the present. As Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he that is so wants nothing. The present is enough, and that's where life exists. If you can be present, then you can enjoy life to the fullest. If you are sat with a friend, talking to a friend, having coffee or dinner with a friend or family member, it's doing a disservice to be living outside of this moment. You're not fully there. You're not giving them your full attention, your full presence. You're not soaking in this moment. You're not creating a full memory because your mind is idle. It's elsewhere. You're not developing fully from this situation that you're in because you're not taking it in fully. You're like focusing on different things. Maybe you've got TikTok out looking at that. You're thinking of a past mistake. You're thinking of the future event that's coming up. And you're not in the moment fully. You're not fully soaking it up to become a better version of you, to grow from this event. And being present helps eliminate almost all fears. I have a story for you which happened recently that involved someone trying to rob me. But this attempted robbery helped me realize that I'd let go of 99% of fears, and I didn't even realize this. So, my whole life, I'd feared things. I'd held anxieties over death, which is gone because of Memento Mori. I'd hold anxieties over future events, regrets over past mistakes. I feared many things, and it had such crippling hold over me. It stopped me from truly being me. It stopped me from being a good person because I was fearful of what people might say if I tried to offer a handout for them. It really held me back, this fear of pretty much everything in life. And I know 90% of people have this same fear that constricts them and holds them back. But anyway, I am riding home at night and someone starts talking to me, saying things quite aggressively. And I thought he was trying to buy drugs. So I'm just trying to say to him, like, I haven't got anything. I don't know why you're asking me. I don't have anything. And I'm slowly riding off, very slow. I think it was uphill at the time. And partway through, I realized he was trying to rob my bike. So he's saying these things and he's getting quite aggressive as I'm riding away from him. And I realized he's trying to rob my bike. And it was quite comical the way I rode off from him slowly because I didn't realize he was trying to threaten me. It was just all a mistake on my end. I thought he was trying to buy drugs. But afterwards, I thought about it and I thought how funny it was that I had zero fear. Even afterwards, I had zero fear. And I remember past situations where people had tried to mug me and it caused my heart to panic and I felt horrible, I was shaking. And then even when I got home, I'd be like overthinking it. But at that time, I thought, that was quite funny. What a funny mistake. Maybe if I knew he was trying to rob me, I would have stopped my bike and he would have actually robbed me, who knows. But I said to myself, how amazing. I don't think I'm scared of anything. Because if a guy trying to rob me is not scaring me, I can't think of anything else that's scaring me. And then I thought, well, if a bear attacked me, I would be very frightened. It would be horrible. And it sounds very silly to say that because it's quite obvious. But that is when I had the biggest realization in my life, is that I no longer feared things that weren't imminent, that weren't actually in my present moment. Because my whole life I'd feared things that could happen, might not happen. I feared these things and they held me back so much when really I didn't need to fear them. And it was in that moment I realized that being present had eliminated all this fear. That I only feared things if there was an imminent threat right in front of me. Something to actually be feared, so that your instincts from fear, the reason your heart's pounding and your adrenaline is boosting, that can help you in that situation. This adrenaline spike doesn't help you when you're laying in bed worrying about something in the future. So being present helped eliminate 99% of fears in my life. Rule number 7, and this ties it all together and will help you incorporate this into your life, is do not argue what it means to be good. Be good. As Epictetus says, don't talk about your philosophy, embody it. And Marcus Aurelius wrote, do not argue what it means to be a good man. Be one. So the idea is that people are so busy and hell-bent on criticizing others, blaming others, putting others down for their mistakes, for things they've done, trying to say this is what you need to do, arguing, complaining, getting themselves so worked up. But what good does that do? The good is when we focus on what we do. We embody our philosophy. Stoicism is a practical philosophy. It does no good just writing these things down, listening to my words and saying, oh, that's a good quote, that's a good lesson. The good comes from incorporating these things into your life. This video, the rules that you've learned today, the good comes from you incorporating Memento Mori, Amorphate. These teachings, when you incorporate them into your life, that is when you grow. That is what Aurelius did. When he wrote his diary, he wrote these things down just for him, so he could read them and learn from them and use them in his life. He could look at quotes about time being precious and death being imminent. He could look at it and go, yeah, this is true. This is how I improve my life. And people are so busy now on social media criticizing people where they went wrong, where they said the wrong thing, a slip of the tongue that someone made becomes a huge downfall of them. It can ruin them because the way people latch onto it and attack them. And if you're attacking someone for making a mistake, saying the wrong thing, can you not see that you yourself have been guilty of the same, if not similar crimes? Can you see that you've one time slipped up at the tongue, said the wrong thing, or you've done the wrong thing by mistake? It's an accident. And what helped you in that situation? I'm certain that people blaming you, saying you're foolish, saying you're an idiot, doesn't help. You now become the victim and they become the villain. They become your opponent. What helps is when people become a leader. They guide you. They say, hey, this is where you went wrong. This is how it hurt people. This is where you can go right. You become a friend rather than an enemy, because people don't listen to their enemies. People listen to their friends. People listen to people giving them guidance, not people pushing them down. And this is what I think is a huge problem right now in the world, is that people can't make mistakes, because once they make a mistake, everyone wants to jump so quickly to crush them, to push them down, to say, I'm right, you're wrong. But if you truly wanted someone to see your point of view, if you truly wanted people to see what the hurt they're doing, then becoming their enemy and shouting these things at them actually pushes them further away. But if you become someone that can show them the way, can guide them, can help them, can actually talk with them and show them how to do the right thing, then they're more likely to listen to them. And it's obvious. If people have ever shouted at you and told you you're an idiot, they become your enemy, and you don't listen to your enemies. So, don't argue what it is to be a good man. Be one, as Marcus Aurelius says. It helps you be a good role model and a good leader. Stop jumping on people, pushing them down. Actually try help them. Show them where they've went wrong so they can be a better person. One understanding is that you're so quick to blame people and criticize people. But if you are capable, or if you were guilty of the same crimes, then can't you see that you can't punish them that much, because you need to either show them guidance, because you've been guilty of these crimes, you've learned from these mistakes. Can't you show them, just as you learned from it, you can help them learn from them and help them improve. And this makes, as we said earlier, we spoke of Sympatheia, this community that we're all a part of. When you see people as members of this community, you no longer start attacking them. You actually try help them be a better member of the community. As it's helpful for them, it's helpful for you, and helpful for everyone around you. This attacking that we see all over social media, this ruining of people, this aggressive conflict, it doesn't do good. It just creates noise. When we see people as part of this community, then we can help build a better community. We can help build a better life for us and the people around us. Thank you for watching. Again, I want to say a huge thanks to the members that support this channel. And if you want to become a member and have access to membership perks, the button is below. If you want to support what I'm doing, then please consider becoming a YouTube member, or subscribing, commenting, or leaving a like, or sharing the video. Today's video is sponsored by the Memento Mori life calendar, which you can get in the description. It's a calendar that counts down every week of your life. The idea is Memento Mori, as the Stoics say. Remember death. It is the remembrance of death that gives our life purpose, meaning, gratitude, and importance.